betrayed by my own family, but I managed to turn things around, and you won't believe how. I always thought my life was under control. I had a solid career as a forensic analyst, a fiancé I loved, and a family I believed I could count on. But little by little, I began to notice small cracks, inconsistencies in my brother Raphael's finances, and strange behavior from Bianca, my fiancée. At first, I tried to ignore it, rationalize it, and convince myself they were exaggerated perceptions. But when I noticed suspicious transfers and misplaced documents, doubt turned into alarm. Something was wrong, and my instincts told me it wasn't just business, but personal betrayal. I felt isolated, unsure of who to trust, and this sense of powerlessness began to erode my daily life. I slept poorly, lost my appetite, and every small, familiar gesture became a reminder of the distance between me and the people who should have been there for me. The peaceful life I thought I had was disappearing, and with each passing day, I felt my own family turning against me. Tension mounted when I realized Bianca and Raphael were involved in something behind my acquaintance. The shock of the revelation was overwhelming. It wasn't just a romantic betrayal, but a family conspiracy that was isolating me. My mother, who had always favored my brother, seemed to approve of the situation, while my father remained proud of Raphael's success. I felt alone in what should have been my safe haven. The emotional pain became intense, a mixture of anger, sadness, and a sense of abandonment. Each day was an exercise in emotional survival, trying to cope with feelings that felt overwhelming. I knew I needed to act, but I didn't know how. The fear of making the wrong decision paralyzed me, and the thought of confronting this reality seemed nearly impossible. Receiving their wedding invitation and later my own mother's letter of disinheritance was a final blow. Every word of that letter pierced me, making it clear that my presence was unwanted and that my opinion didn't matter. I was faced with the need to decide between submitting to the humiliation or fighting back. The pain was so profound that I considered giving up everything, my family, my emotional ties. Each sleepless night increased my anxiety, and I felt isolated, as if the whole world were against me. The situation was painful and overwhelming, but deep down, something inside me refused to give in completely. It was during this period that my professional experience became my only safe haven. I began to thoroughly investigate Raphael and Bianca's finances, analyzing every document, transfer, and accounting report. Each discovery fueled not only my indignation, but also a sense of purpose. I could transform my pain into concrete action. The tension eased as I regained control, even if partial, over my own life. Each step I took in the investigation made me realize that justice depended not on my family, but on my own skills and determination. Despite this, loneliness still weighed heavily. Friends tried to support me, but few understood the complexity of dealing with emotional and familial betrayal simultaneously. It was a daily battle, staying focused, reviewing documents, coping with the emotional pain, and carefully planning each step. With each discovery, I felt a mixture of relief and pain. Relief at confirming my suspicions, and pain at realizing the betrayal was real. Even so, I realized that by transforming frustration into action, I was reconnecting with my own strength and rebuilding confidence in my abilities. My name is Eduardo. I was 32 years old when all this happened. My career was established. My love life seemed perfect, and my family was close. However, I discovered that the appearance of normality hid deep betrayals. The period that followed was an intense school of resilience. I learned that strength comes not from the absence of pain, but from the ability to face it with clarity and determination. Each accounting analysis, each piece of evidence collected was also a way of rebuilding my self-esteem and my identity. Before, my life was comfortable and predictable, but now I realized that true value lies in the ability to resist, to fight, and to claim dignity even when everyone seems to be turning against you. The investigation process required discipline and patience. Each document analyzed, each suspicious transaction reviewed, was a small victory that allowed me to regain some control over the situation. At the same time, I had to deal with the emotional toll of confronting people close to me, people I loved, who had betrayed me. It was a mixture of suppressed anger, profound sadness, and gradually intense motivation to restore my life. Each step in the investigation reinforced my conviction that my dignity could not be taken and that I had the right to act in defense of my own story. The sleepless nights continued, but now with a purpose. I woke up, thinking about the evidence, what still needed to be investigated, and how to present the facts clearly and organized. Each hour of study and analysis made me realize that I was capable of facing extreme challenges without losing my composure. Emotional control and technical discipline became essential tools for dealing with the situation of family and personal disrespect. The feeling of empowerment, though contained, grew as I documented every irregularity, every fraud, and every lie. My aunt, Adriana, became a pillar of support. She, who had always criticized my mother's favoritism, offered guidance and emotional support. Talking to someone who understood the situation without judgment was crucial. I learned the importance of seeking genuine support and recognizing that we don't have to face crises alone. Her presence bolstered my confidence and provided clarity on the need to act ethically and strategically. It was a reminder that inner strength is strengthened when there are reliable, even limited alliances amidst family chaos. When I presented the evidence to the authorities, I felt a mixture of anxiety and relief. Each meeting, each document submitted, each testimony collected was a concrete step toward justice. The transformation from victim to agent of her own story began to take hold. For the first time in months, I felt the pain had a purpose, not only to expose the fraud, but also to reclaim my dignity and affirm that my voice and my truth matter, even when family members try to silence it. The unfolding of the investigations brought significant changes. Rafael and Bianca were held legally responsible, and the family's reputation began to crumble. But the greatest victory was internal. I had regained my self-esteem, my confidence, and my ability to cope with pain. I realized that true justice isn't revenge, it's ethical action based on facts and the preservation of one's own integrity. Each challenge I faced strengthened my resilience and clarity. About family and personal boundaries, I learned that it's possible to act against injustice, even when those closest to me are involved. The emotional transformation was gradual but intense. Before, I depended on my family's recognition to feel valid. Now, I understand that my strength comes from within. I learned to value my own choices, trust my abilities, and set healthy boundaries regardless of others' reactions. Emotional independence became a crucial achievement, allowing me to deal with the wounds of betrayal without being consumed by them. The sense of freedom that came with this realization was liberating, opening space for new, conscious decisions and strengthening my sense of self. Today, even when facing painful memories, I feel more balanced. I've developed resilience mechanisms, learning to transform pain into learning. Each challenge I faced has strengthened my understanding that I can overcome extreme situations and emerge stronger, more aware, and more connected to my own worth. Experience has taught me that overcoming pain doesn't mean the absence of pain, but the ability to transform negative experiences into emotional and personal growth, something that becomes visible only with reflection and the courage to face reality. The experience also impacted my professional life. I learned to deal with complex crises, maintain emotional discipline, and make difficult decisions under pressure. Each technical and legal victory strengthened my confidence and demonstrated that it is possible to reconcile ethics, competence, and personal strength amidst intense adversity. This confidence was reflected in my career and gave me the confidence to face other challenges, knowing that my skills are capable of generating concrete results, even in emotionally turbulent contexts. On a personal level, overcoming grief brought clarity about relationships and boundaries. I learned to identify toxic relationships and value those who offer genuine support. The initial pain still surfaces occasionally, but it no longer defines me. Now I can walk more lightly, setting priorities and maintaining my emotional balance without depending on the approval or recognition of those who have betrayed me. Each step of this process reinforced my understanding that personal strength comes from consistency, self-care, and the ability to act consciously in the face of adversity. The process of emotional reconstruction taught me the importance of patience and persistence. I realized that facing extreme adversity requires not only strength, but also planning, strategy, and the ability to remain calm in the face of injustice. Each step toward overcoming was the result of discipline, reflection, and courage. The experience showed me that there are no shortcuts to emotional recovery. It's a path that requires time, effort, and awareness of each choice. Understanding this helped me deal with frustrations in a healthier way and appreciate small daily achievements, even amidst pain. I've learned to deal with complex feelings without letting them overwhelm me. Anger, sadness, and resentment still exist, but I've learned to transform them into motivation and clarity of purpose. This ability to channel intense emotions into productive actions has become an essential tool for facing future crises, both personally and professionally. Each emotional challenge I've overcome has given me greater self-confidence, demonstrating that I can face adversity without losing my inner balance. This skill is something I know I'll carry with me forever, regardless of external circumstances. My relationship with my mother and father has changed. It's not about immediate reconciliation, but about understanding and establishing boundaries. I've learned that emotional integrity requires difficult decisions, such as distancing myself and defining priorities, even when it comes to family. This realization has brought a new sense of freedom and control over my own life, something I'd never experienced before. Recognizing that not all family bonds are necessarily beneficial was an essential step in my own evolution and emotional protection. Looking back, I see that every challenge I faced was an opportunity for growth. The initial pain, though intense, revealed my ability to endure, act, and transform an adverse situation into a learning experience. I discovered skills I never imagined I possessed and built a clearer worldview about justice, trust, and emotional autonomy. Each difficult experience served as a lesson, showing that overcoming obstacles doesn't depend on miracles, but on conscious action, courage, and perseverance in the face of adversity. Today, I share this story to inspire people facing betrayal, injustice, or family isolation. I want to show that even in extreme situations, it's possible to rise up, reclaim your dignity, and transform pain into learning. Overcoming obstacles isn't perfect, nor is it immediate, but it's real, practical, and profoundly transformative. It's proof that even in the face of betrayal and rejection, it's possible to rebuild your life with integrity, strength, and awareness of who you truly are. The resilience gained through this process has become part of who I am. I learned to trust myself, value my abilities, and realize that other people's approval doesn't define my worth. This understanding has changed my approach to all aspects of life, allowing for more informed decisions, healthier relationships, and a more solid perspective on future challenges. Every choice I make today is guided by experience, discernment, and the certainty that I can handle adversity without losing my essence. Today, I can deal with painful memories without being consumed by them. The wounds of betrayal still exist, but they have become a learning experience. Each challenge I faced strengthened my sense of identity, my ability to face crises, and my conviction that I am capable of overcoming extreme situations with dignity and clarity. The transformation wasn't instantaneous, but the gradual progress brought me confidence and emotional stability that previously seemed unattainable. Experience has taught me that true strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to act even in the face of it. I discovered that true justice is based on truth and integrity, not on the humiliation of others. This learning has redefined my relationship with my career, my family, and myself, making me more confident, determined, and aware of my choices. Today, I can look back without destructive anger, but with gratitude for the lessons it taught me. Overcoming this situation brought emotional balance and clarity of purpose. I learned to set healthy boundaries, value genuine connections, and maintain my integrity, even when facing betrayal and rejection. This ability to rebuild is the greatest victory I've achieved, more meaningful than any legal outcome or external recognition. Knowing that I can rise again in the face of any adversity is something no one can take away from me. If I could summarize this entire journey in one lesson, it would be this: even in the face of the greatest adversity, it is possible to rise again, reclaim your truth, and transform pain into learning, strength, and personal renewal. Each obstacle overcome reinforces that life can be rebuilt with dignity and courage. Experience has shown me that we are much stronger than we imagine, and that true victory lies in continuing, even when all seems lost.